Indian Home Rule by M.K. Gandhi. Chapter 5. The Condition of England. Reader. Then from your statement, I deduce the government of England is not desirable and not worth copying by us. Editor. Your deduction is justified. The condition of England at present is pitiable. I pray to God that India may never be in that plight. That which you consider to be the mother of parliaments is like a sterile woman and a prostitute. Both of these are harsh terms, but exactly fit the case. That Parliament has not yet of its own accord done a single good thing, hence I have compared it to a sterile woman. The natural condition of that Parliament is such that, without outside pressure, it can do nothing. It is like a prostitute because it is under the control of ministers who change from time to time. Today it is under Mr. Asquith, tomorrow it may be under Mr. Balfour. Reader, you have said this sarcastically. The term sterile woman is not applicable. The Parliament, being elected by the people, must work under public pressure. This is its quality. Editor. You are mistaken. Let us examine it a little more closely. The best men are supposed to be elected by the people. The members serve without pay, and, therefore, it must be assumed only for the public weal. The electors are considered to be educated, and, therefore, we should assume that they would not generally make mistakes in their choice. Such a parliament should not need the spur of petitions or any other pressure. Its work should be so smooth that its effect would be more apparent day by day. But as a matter of fact, it is generally acknowledged that the members are hypocritical and selfish. Each thinks of his own little interest. It is fear that is the guiding motive. What is done today may be undone tomorrow. It is not possible to recall a single instance in which the finality can be predicted for its work. When the greatest questions are debated, its members have been seen to stretch themselves into doze. Sometimes the members talk away until the listeners are disgusted. Carlyle has called it the talking shop of the world. Members vote for their party without a thought. Their so-called discipline binds them to it. If any member, by way of exception, gives an independent vote, he is considered a renegade. If the money and the time wasted by the Parliament were entrusted to a few good men, the English nation would be occupying today a much higher platform. The Parliament is simply a costly toy of the nation. These views are, by no means, peculiar to me. Some great English thinkers have expressed them. One of the members of Parliament recently said that a true Christian could not become a member of it. Another said that it was a baby, and if it has remained a baby after an existence of 700 years, when will it outgrow its babyhood? Reader, you have set me thinking. You do not expect me to accept at once all you have to say. You give me entirely novel views. I shall have to digest them. Will you now explain the epithet prostitute? Editor, that you cannot accept my views at once is only right. If you will read the literature on this subject, you will have some idea of it. The Parliament is without a real master. Under the Prime Minister, its movement is not steady, but it is buffeted about like a prostitute. The Prime Minister is more concerned about his power than about the welfare of the Parliament. His energy is concentrated upon securing the success of his party. His care is not always that the Parliament shall do right. Prime Ministers are known to have made the Parliament do things merely for party advantage. All this is worth thinking over. Reader, then you are really attacking the very men whom we have hitherto considered to be patriotic and honest? Editor, yes, that is true. I can have nothing against Prime Ministers, but what I have seen leads me to think that they cannot be considered really patriotic. If they are to be considered honest because they do not take what is generally known as bribery, let them be so considered, but they are open to subtler influences. In order to gain their ends, They certainly bribe people with honors. I do not hesitate to say that they have neither real honesty nor a living conscience. Reader, as you express these views about the Parliament, I would like to hear you on the English people so that I may have your views of their government. Editor, to the English voters, their newspaper is their Bible. They take their cue from their newspapers, which latter are often dishonest. The same fact is differently interpreted by different newspapers according to the party in whose interests they are edited. One newspaper would consider a great Englishman to be a paragon of honesty, another would consider him dishonest. What must be the condition of the people whose newspapers are of this type? Reader, you shall describe it. Editor, these people change their views frequently. It is said that they change them every 7 years. These views swing like the pendulum of a clock and are never steadfast. The people would follow a powerful orator or a man who gives them parties, receptions, etc. As are the people, so is their parliament. They have certainly one quality very strongly developed. They will never allow their country to be lost. If any person were to cast an evil eye on it, they would pluck out his eyes. But that does not mean that the nation possesses every other virtue or that it should be imitated. If India copies England, it is my firm conviction that she will be ruined. Reader, to what do you ascribe this state of England? Editor, it is not due to any particular fault of the English people, but the condition is due to modern civilization. It is a civilization only in name. Under it, the nations of Europe are becoming degraded and ruined day by day. You have reached the end of Chapter 5 of Indian Home Rule by M.K. Gandhi. Click on the links at the end of the video to go to the playlist or the next chapter if it's available. If you enjoy the content and would like to support the channel, please like and subscribe.